Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Crowdfunding Coverage, our internet TV show that covers what's going on in the crowdfunding universe each month. Today we're going to be talking about what happened in April of 2017, and our show is brought to you by the Space Finance Group and Kickstarter Coaching. First, some news about what happened in general. There were 11 big campaigns that happened in April. These big campaigns brought in $26 million. The biggest campaign was the Time, which is a new kind of smartwatch that has hands in addition to the smartwatch screen. And later on we'll talk about 8 of the big campaigns that happened and what helped make them so successful. First, some news. The SEC made the news with a change about how much money firms can raise through crowdfunding. It's not the big news that many have been hoping for with a big increase. Basically what they did was they indexed the figures to inflation, and I think the consequence of this was they were up 7% from the original figures. So instead of raising $1 million, you can raise $1,070,000. So a step in the right direction, but it would be nice to get the crowdfunding cap of roughly $1 million up to at least $2 or $3 million. Kickstarter made the news with a big milestone for their 8th birthday. They reached $3 billion. Has now been pledged through the Kickstarter platform. So congratulations to the team there. They are the leader in setting the pace for crowdfunding, and more power to them. That's great news. Indiegogo came out with a new feature in April, and it was basically a way to sort of give feedback to creators about their updates that they do. So you do an update, and it was people could put in like a big smile or like a question mark and this kind of thing. So immediate feedback that only the creator sees, which is kind of cool, on the updates that they're providing. So that's nice. So we'll talk about 8 of the big campaigns. There were 11, but there's just not time to cover that many. The size of the 8 that we'll talk about range from 1.3 million to 5.3 million. The length of the video, which is a big determinant of success, was from 1 minute 44 to 6 minutes and 23 seconds. So quite a range there. The 6 minutes is really pushing the envelope there, but obviously worked for these people. The campaign term ranged from 27 to 45 days. The rewards range from a very unusual 1 reward campaign up to 33, which is getting a bit complex to administer. And the updates, everybody had a good amount of updates, 6 to 38 updates. So the first campaign was handcrafted dress shoes. So these people are making shoes in Italy and offering them to the public at a much lower than normal price because they're cutting out all the middle steps through the normal supply chain. And one unusual thing that they're doing is buying back shoes. So like if you wore your shoes for a couple of years, they'll buy them back and they donate them to the needy, which is an interesting spin on making their campaign a bit more unique. They use stretch goals, and they reached several of the stretch goals that they were shooting for, which is good. They had supplemental videos. One thing I tend to repeat myself on is you can't make your primary video too long because people will tune out, they won't see the whole thing. So it's important to be strict about the length of your primary video and use supplementary videos if you need to provide more information. We also had a Back This Project button, which is basically a button in the main body of your campaign for people that are new to crowdfunding, make sure they know how to, what they're supposed to do if they want to support your campaign, order your thing. Next, we had Moar, which is an electric bike that folds, and it has the big tires like from an off-road kind of capability. They raised a lot of money, obviously, for their campaign. Some of the things they did is they had a nice link in there for the media. So high-res images and other things the media might particularly want, they aggregate all that together, make it available to the media without cluttering up the whole campaign with a link in there to go get that information for them. They had 3 models of their bike. It doesn't always make sense, but it's always something that you should at least consider in your campaign. Is there a way to differentiate your offering and offer a few different types of things, different price points, different capabilities, that kind of stuff? People have different budgets and different situations, so it is nice if you're able to offer some choice to the backers. And the electric bikes are a fairly pricey item, so they did something that you don't see all the time, but they had a reserve now and pay later. So one of the rewards was a deposit. You give them a deposit, and by the time the bikes come around, you have to pay up, or I guess lose your deposit, but you don't have to pay for the whole bike today. So I think that was a good strategy on their part. Next we have SnapMaker, which is another 3D printer. We've seen a lot of these, but this one is all metal construction, which offers certain advantages to the user and very simple to assemble, which I think probably everybody likes. They did use the GIFs, the short videos with no sound. They used those to show some of the operations of the printer. They did have supplemental videos to show more information, talk about what was going on, and show it in video. And they had multiple early bird levels. This is a very common strategy that you offer an extra discount to people that back your campaign at the beginning, help things get off to a good start. So a lot of the campaigns do this to good effect. This next one was kind of interesting. My family goes camping occasionally, so I found this an interesting idea. It's called Sky Camp, and basically it is sort of a tent-like thing that you put on top of your car in an aerodynamic case, and really quick setup, and it stays on top of your car when you're using it, so easy to set up and easy to pack up. And it was a novel idea. It raised a lot of money with this. So some of the things that they did is they had a couple different colors to choose from. Maybe you want the color of this thing on top of your car to match your car and that kind of stuff. They also had add-ons, extra products to supplement the main product. One good thing about this is it allows you to keep the primary product cost under control and so offer those extra things for the people that want them. So a good strategy in many cases. They also offered a staggered delivery schedule. So they felt like they could offer 500 units by a certain time, but that they'd need more time to deliver units beyond 500. So just put that in your campaign. You know, if you get a huge number of orders, you could be overwhelmed. So you can put this into your campaign and, you know, protect yourself against the possibility of getting huge orders that you can't provide on time. This next campaign is the super screen. We all have our smartphones and don't leave home without them, to borrow the old American Express slogan. But the screens are still small, even though the phones are getting bigger and bigger. So this idea is you have this big screen that connects to your smartphone through a Bluetooth connection. So everything you do on your smartphone, now you can do it on this big screen. And it's very affordable because the brain isn't in the screen. You know, the brain is still on your smartphone. So a novel idea. I think it's a good one. Some of the things they did in their campaign is they had a press kit, like we mentioned before, to put all the press specialty information together so they can easily access it. They used supplemental videos to show the use of the super screen. And they offered multiple unit packages, in this case up to 10 units. Normally you get a discounted price because you're getting a bunch of units, so it's a win-win. Sometimes retailers do this, or organizations have a need for many units of the product. Next we have GPD Pocket. This is a full-blown power laptop computer that you can run the Windows 10 on it, and it's tiny. It's amazingly tiny. It's maybe more or less the size of like an iPad mini in the dimensions, very, very small, but still packing that powerful punch with a 7-inch screen. So some of the things they did in their campaign is they offered the tech specs on their product, which is especially important in a product like this. They had a product comparison. Excuse me. They were showing, how their product compares to like MacBook Air and other things. And this campaign once it was concluded, this was an Indiegogo campaign. They're not in the on-demand thing to Indiegogo, which means you can continue operating after your goal is reached and your initial term is up. So they didn't show any of the rewards. So just product information and a link to buy it, but they didn't. I was unable to see the rewards they'd offered when the campaign was live. Perhaps they offered some other things. I'm not sure. Next, we have the Rising Sun. This was a game that did very, very well. It's set in feudal Japan period, so there's shoguns and samurai and that kind of thing going on. A little bit of a historic game. They have a lot of stretch goals, which you sometimes see in the game universe. They had 42 stretch goals. Sounds crazy, but a lot of the games are doing that kind of a structure. They had supplemental videos. And they had something you don't see too often, links for more information. So they're providing the detailed information that certain buyers might want to see, but they're sort of separating out from their main campaign page so that the people who don't want to see all that stuff can get through the information that's more fundamental about the project. So congrats to them, they raised a lot of money. But the big star of the show in April was the time. We've seen smartwatches come out from lots and lots of different companies, and the fundamental challenge, it seems to me, that they all suffer from is really short lifespan due to the battery problem of having the color screen and all that kind of thing. So what they did is they took a smartwatch idea and they put old-fashioned hands on top of the display. So what the reason I'm behind this is people look at their watch many, many, many times during the day to see what time it is. And if you have a traditional smartwatch and has to activate the screen, it runs the battery to make the screen appear to everyone. So it takes a lot of battery to help you find the time every single time during the day when you look at the time. So maybe it's 50 times every day the thing comes on and lights up. In this case, it doesn't. In this case, there's the old-fashioned hands to see what time it is. But when you need the screen, it activates and it can show you whatever you need to see. So instead of the battery life being a day or two, the battery life is like a month, which is a big competitive advantage. So a good idea, I think. So some of the things they did in their campaign, they had 2 sizes for the watch. So you can think of it as a men and women sizes, but some people just prefer one or the other. They also offered it in very large groups of units, up to 40 units. So like if you're a retailer or you want to be some kind of a distributor of their watch, they're pricing and discounting appropriate to buying lots and lots of the product. Also, they have a 2-year warranty. This is something that you see all the time in the regular world, but in the crowdfunding world, a lot of time there isn't a warranty that comes with the product. So something to keep in mind if you're confident of your product and you're able to offer that warranty, by all means offer it. It gives comfort to your purchasers that you're going to stand behind your product. That's it for the April version of Crowdfunding Coverage. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the road. Have a good one.